Morning. So today we are going to be focusing on looking at our punctuation, which kind of tacks onto reading with expression. Something that we've noticed at school is the moment we get to the end of a line in our book, so we've read all the words on that line, we all stop and we take a deep, big breath and then we start reading again. But we need to make sure that we are taking a breath at the end of the sentence, so not the end of the line, at the end of our sentence. So every time we read, we're only taking a breath if we have a comma. So we take a tiny breath, we've got enough to get through to the end of the sentence, or taking a breath when we get to the full stop at the end of a sentence. So today I'm going to have a go at modeling taking a breath when we get to the end of a sentence. So let's read about ratty rats today. Okay, so as you can see, if you can see my pointer, if I was reading this sentence, yes, I would definitely stop at the end of this line because it has a full stop. So that's when I'm going to take my breath before I read the next sentence, and then I'm going to take another breath because there's a full stop there. Let's have a read. It was night and the crescent moon shone brightly. The ship was fully loaded and ready to sail. The rats gathered at the dock. They wanted to leave the busy, noisy city. They wanted to sail away to another land. I wonder where they go. One by one, rats sneaked upon the ship. They crept up the wooden gangway. Then they slid down a rope and into the cargo bay. The cargo bay was dark. It was full of cargo. There was spice and rice, and there was flour and silk. Always got to double check what I'm reading. The rats got comfortable in the dark cargo bay. They knew it would be a long trip. They needed a good hiding place where they would not be seen during the entire voyage. So see how I kept reading on. Even though I got to the end of my line, I kept reading because my full stop isn't until the end here. So don't stop at that word. I keep reading on. Many days passed at sea. The rats loved being at sea. They had plenty to eat and no one saw them. But then the cook began to find evidence of rats. There were ragged holes chewed in sacks of rice. Something had been nibbling the cheese. "Oh no!" cried the cook. "It's the ratty rats! They are on the ship and they are eating our food." "Set traps and catch the rats," said the captain. "I'll have no ratty rats on my ship." The sailors set traps and loaded with bacon and cheese, but the rats were much too smart to get trapped. They tripped the traps and ate the bacon and cheese. Next, the sailors went to hoist the sails. "Oh no, more evidence," said the first mate. "The ratty rats have chewed holes in the sails." "Sew the sails and bait more traps," said the captain. "I'll have no ratty rats on my ship." But once again, the rats tripped the traps and ate the bait. Sneaky little rats. Next, a terrible storm blew up. The ship was tossed around in the rough waves. The captain sailed the ship into a quiet bay, and he ordered the sailors to drop the anchor. "Oh no, still more evidence," cried the anchorman. "The ratty rats have chewed through the anchor rope." "That's it," screamed the captain. I have had enough." The captain lowered a lifeboat. He climbed into the lifeboat and paddled ashore. "Burn the ship," he cried and paddled away. "Destroy the ratty rats." But the sailors did not burn the ship. I wonder what they did. Back on the ship, the rats and the sailors were making peace. They agreed to sail together to the new land. Together, they mended the sails and rope. Together, they sailed across the sea. Very nice. Okay, so your job today for your read to self is to practice paying attention to your punctuation. So every time you read a sentence, the only time you're allowed to take a breath, see how you go with this, is if you see a comma. So you take a little breath, And if you see a full stop, that's when you take a nice deep breath in and then you start your next sentence. Hopefully you guys enjoy practicing. Remember, you can read online on your Reading A to Z app, or you can just read a book that you have at home, maybe something you've read before, so that you can practice the strategy instead of trying to decode new words. Happy reading.